I said, "Are you ready to start, love?" And she said, "Yes, but I've run out of Prosecco." And I said, "Oh, no, you haven't." My cup overfloweth with Prosecco. There's one thing I love doing is kissing Janice. I've kissed her all over in places that you couldn't think of. Abingdon, Castlereagh, Carrickfergus, places like that. I couldn't find all of them, but I used to have poems where the last line was in brackets and it was Kiss Janice. So I used to write these Kiss Janice poems so I could just kiss Janice. So this is called Superman, just super. Goes like this. I wanted to be your superhero, but all the best ones were already taken. Superman, Batman, Spider-Man, oh how they roll off the tongue. Doctor Strange or Daredevil or Green Lantern even. So I had to become my own one. Now I hear you crying, kissless and cuddleless. Oh God, it's making me cry. But have no fear, for I am here, created by your own longing, a superhero to suit you. Yes, it's Mr. Kiss Kiss and Cuddles Man to the rescue!
My hero! Woo!
Kiss Janice. Now, long before, where's it gone? Long before Scotland tried to ditch England and run away from them, we also done that. I met Janice and we got together and we spent the first 3 months in bed and we became known as the Hanging Gardens of Guildford. And we just didn't get out of bed except to pee and wee and eat and stuff like that. So just 3 months in bed. After that, I was a sucker. I thought, oh yeah, 3 months in bed, it's going to be always like that. So this is called The Pursuit of Happiness. We declare this our bedroom an independent dominion, secede from the United Kingdom and the Commonwealth of Nations, although still enjoying our European unions, as a republic of love, out on our own, our newfound land as Don had done, a currency of caresses, our national tongue kisses, needing nothing but the other to complete our independence, flying the flag of happiness in this, our brave new world of love. Hold on, let's see what it says. Oh, Kiss Janice. Oh, I love those poems. They're my favourite poems. We used to go to Amalfi a lot because we loved it, and it was really nice. And a big storm came in one night. We were at dinner one time and Jan said, "Oh look, it's a cyclone." And over my shoulder there was a cyclone. And on national news the next day there was a cyclone dashing in from the sea. And I thought, don't be so silly. So there was a cyclone. But this time it was a terrible storm and it was the saint of Saint somebody and they're all going to celebrate. And the saint's morning broke into beautiful loveliness, gorgeous loveliness. But the storm was the night before. So this is called You Again. Your summer dress comes to rest upon the balcony, hung up on a thin wire hanger, an exotic bird. It cries for your body, weeps at being parted from you and your curves. A pool of tears collects at its hem, as longingly it dreams of the touch of your skin, asleep now in the sun. Later that evening, frightened by the approaching storm, it tries to escape the clamour of its hanger, almost flies off beyond the reach of my hands, run away to sea, seeking for farther horizons. I calm it, tame its panic, fold it tenderly, carry it like a dreaming child, lay it to rest at the foot of the bed, where all night long it sleeps at your feet, awaiting your footstep, the sunshine of being you again. Now, when I met this woman, I was this very sad individual. I was paralyzed. I spent about 7-8 years with this side of my face collapsed. I couldn't talk, everything. And that's when I decided to go back and write poetry because I couldn't talk. And I thought the only way to regain speech is to get in front of 50 people and go, "Is your poem by me?" And I did that. And this side of my face used to convulse and try to mount this side of my face. And the first time I read, that happened at the end of the set, and I ran off the stage crying. Yeah, I know, big old slobbery me. I ran off crying. The next time that happened, it happened in the middle of a poem. And I thought, oh my God, I ran off stage. I thought, no, keep going. And I kept going, and to the end of the set, and I came down, and everybody said, "Oh man, that weird thing that you do with your face, do it again. That's great." And I said, "Fuck off." So, this is called Parallel Lines Do Not Meet. There was two things I was very bad at: happiness, and obviously mathematics. And I was in the day of where they beat you to put knowledge into you. And if I didn't know that the square on the hypotenuse is equal to the sum of the squares on the opposite two sides, slapping me madly on the hand doesn't actually beat the knowledge into me. Now I still don't know that the square and the hypotenuse is equal to the sum of the squares on the two sides. I only know that it hurts. So all you've got to do is go, "Donall," I go, "Yeah, 2 and 2, just reaction like that. So I do have these weird reactions. When I was born as well, I weighed only 2 pounds. And that's what my name actually means. Irish sense of humour. What do you call the tiniest baby you ever saw in your life? You call him Donall. Because in Irish, Donall means world mighty spear power. And Dempsey, my second name, means the proud one. So my real name, if you translate it back into out of the Irish, Jeff, can I do it on you? Yeah? You can do it, mate. All right, you're not of a nervous disposition, are you? No. Sorry, what's your name, Jeff? I'm not named, sir. What's Jeff? Jeff is your name? I'm not a mechanic. All right, my name is World Mighty Spear Power, the Proud One. Call me by my name, Earthling, or die. Now, I'll change your pampers in a minute. As you can see, that is too heavy. I said I'd change your pampers in a minute. That is too heavy and in to have. So I can't help leaking. Can't help leaking. So that's how I get my name. Parallel lines do not meet. I met Jan. I was paralysed, I was miserable, I was trying to get my voice, my face, my words back. It was a long day's journey into night. This is your trigeminal nerve. It comes down here, takes out your eye, it comes down here, breaks the smile, comes down here and gets the throat. So for 13 years I've been without a left-hand side of my throat. So there's a demarcation line that comes all the way down here. This side is normal, fleshy, wet throat. This side is a desert, or what I call the absence of presence. I just can't feel nothing. So you can hit me there like that. If a ninja came up to me and went, "Oh!" I just go, like that. So I used to have a doctor sticking pins in me. He said, "Look that way," and he'd stick pins in me. And he'd be talking to me. Why is he talking about these things? And then he said, "Look this way," and he stuck one pin in me and said, "Jesus, what'd you do that for?" So, this side is still the absence of nothing is there. So the nerve came back on. It was like swallowing my own throat, and the nerve went about 4 weeks ago, and I now have a new returned left-hand side of my throat. I am normal like you. The nerve system is very funny. So being paralysed wasn't no joke. I used to look in the mirror and think, "I'll get over this, I'll beat this." But paralysis is like a big monster that gets you by the head and bites the head off you, and you just can't get it. So this is what this is kind of about. And then I met her, and she taught me happiness, and I haven't looked back. She also taught me mathematics, but I still don't know that the square and the hypotenuse is equal. But I can say the square and her hypotenuse is equal to the sum of her squares on her other two sides. I found that out, didn't I, Jen? So this is called Parallel Lines Do Not Meet. Happiness is not a mathematical formula that one can apply to supply an answer. Rather, it is the sum of who you are multiplied by who you're willing to be. Happiness, as Alex can tell you, like mathematics, is something I was never ever any good at, and almost made me weep with equal parts desperation, exasperation and frustration, or death for short. For example, if it took a man a lifetime to dig himself into a hole, how long would it take for half the man he used to be to dig himself out again? Questions such as this only cause me grief. In mathematics, like Latin, which I could also never know, I would cheat and repeat words full of sound and no sense. E.g., the cares of the hippopotamus are equal to some of the cares that the other two hippopotami confide. Happiness, like mathematics, was all Greek to me. I don't know, that's all I know. But I do know that happiness happens every now and then. The only trick is to be aware that it's there and that parallel lines do meet at infinity. Q. Thank you. Right, let's see. Try and get Chris into the act. Chris, have you ever kissed your own cello? Tell the truth, man.
Have I ever kissed what?
Your own cello. Or somebody else's cello. It doesn't have to be your own cello. No. Have you ever kissed your own cello? Not knowingly. This is called Kissing Mr. Celadon Goodbye. The poem will explain it. Oh yes, I was sitting with my two best friends, Marie, from France, obviously, and Mary. And Mary and Marie looked exactly the same Louise Brooks hairstyle, dressed in black, little red choker, so they could be twins, but they weren't. And they were talking, and we were talking in a circle, and we talked about this, and we talked about that, and then they got back to their girlhood. And suddenly I was out of the equation, and they were swapping stories about growing up and being teenage girls, and they were talking about their breasts or the lack of them, or the first time they got breasts. And I was going, excuse me, I'm here too, but I wasn't. I was now out of the loop. So this is called Kissing Mr. Celadon Goodbye. For the purpose of this, Chris, you've got to pretend that I am Marie, okay? Because this is Marie's story. She didn't have a beard, if that's what you're thinking. Oh, I don't know if I should be telling you this. I was just sweet as in 16 and never been kissed, and my breasts hadn't arrived yet, though I prayed and prayed to a God who did not heed my girlish plea. All the girls in my year had already budded. Breast to the right of me, breast to the left of me. Into the valley of despair I rode my rally. Alas, alas, breastless. I practiced kissing by kissing the, you know, the inside of, what did you call it, Chris? Oh yeah, my elbow, the celadon. So called by an old falling apart medical dictionary. I clipped some hair from our Yorkshire Terrier, stuck it on the crick of my elbow so that it became my first moustached kiss. And so was born my Mr. Celadon. Pathetic, yes, I know, but the year after my bosoms arrived with a suddenness that took my breath away. I breasting the waves like a ship's figurehead as I dived into the sea, a Venus for boys to see. I was my breasts and my breasts were me. Somehow I could then not stop being kissed. And once kissed, grew addicted to it. The bliss of the kiss. I was my own drug. Again, Mr. Celadon the elbow discovered the joys of boys, inventing various uses for them as they discovered me. Oh yes, we grow up. We grow up. I think sometimes anyway. Right, last one. This is called Now We Is 60, as in A. Milnes, Now We Is 6. Teacher, I go to school and they all want to know, Sir, what's your name? And I tell them my name and I explain the Donall bit like I explained to Jeff. Dog! And that. I said, you shouldn't have asked. And they said, are you married? What's your wife's name? Have you any kids? What's your kid's name? What football team do you support? And they go through a big thing that the checklist and tick off. So I only got as far as the age in this one. So it's Now We Is 60. A year 8 child inquires how old I be. I be just 60. He gasps, my God, you're very active for 60. 60 for him is a distant planet in a galaxy far, far from here. Yea, another dimension. I smile my 60-year-old smile, perfected by now. I am starlight that will only reach him when he is 60 himself, if he ever remembers what he has long ago forgotten.